anyone that has a brick and mortar office, I'd be curious anonymously, like, not that it's a contest, but like, what's the highest out of pocket, the lifetime value of your highest paying client out of pocket who has come to a brick and mortar office?
And you don't get your posture fixed unless you use Posture Corrector 3000. Fixed your posture with
the same. This is the same guy. This is the same actor.
Yeah, he's not an actor. He's a presenter. He's a professional product presenter. Fixer, they like it or not. Posture Corrector 3000, the revolutionary wearable device that automatically buzzes, beeps, and mildly shames you. Who, if you slouch, bad desk posture, bzz, text neck, beep, 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 rounded shoulders. It plays a recording of your PT saying, chest up, shoulders back. You know better. Now with public accountability mode, which loudly announces posture failure detected. Posture Corrector 3000, because awareness is half the battle. Humiliation is the other half. Find us online at posturecorrector3000.org. It's always a .org because they can't afford a .com because they're not selling enough units. They're not hustling hard. All right, so let's go strategic twist. Halfway through the show, now we bring in the celebrity guests. This is how you keep people watching the live stream. So the question is, how would other big, beautiful minds think of this? So I brought in the power of AI. I said, what would people like Gary Vee or Seth Godin or Rory Sutherland or Chris Voss or Chris Do about those things? And here's what they said. Now, this is going off their avatar, like the Chris Voss avatar. Chris Voss, famously the former FBI hostage negotiator turned book writer and, I don't know, strategic advisor to companies. Chris Voss would uncover the real fear behind the injury. Ooh. Chris Voss, of course, would say, if you have 10 hostages in a bank, I can't just be like, oh, I guess we'll split the difference. So Chris Voss is saying, talk to the person more, find out the real fear behind the injury. Do that. Get into that. And if you get to their real fear, Oprah said people want to be seen, heard, and understood. Chris Voss, of the same ilk, if you can see me, hear me, understand me, I will stay with you, because finding another person like you is a pain and expensive. Rory Sutherland was the director of Ogilvy, one of the largest advertising firms on the planet. This is where the reframe comes in a second ago when I told you not to say that, but to say this. Rory Sutherland, that's where I stole that from Rory Sutherland. He would say, don't say I'm not providing the treatment, saying I am going to step out of the way because I have the best back person and I'm going to slide you into them and you'll be appreciative and it'll feel like a yes and not a no but. Rory would say reframe physical therapy from repair to optimization. Rory would say you never discharge. Rory would be one of those people who'd say don't discharge. He would say we're going to now continue to make sure you are hardy for life. Thoughts on Rory, thoughts on Chris so far? Chris Voss and Rory Sutherland.
The thing that Chris Voss, you mentioned, I feel like I know I have done historically, and I hope I need to be coaching my therapist better if I'm not already, but definitely talk about it in terms of because from the Chris Voss angle, the patient, our clients, they don't care about your therapeutic exercise, your what type of manual therapy, mobilization of the shoulder or the back or the gait training, or they just care about getting back to what they want to get back to. So a lot of times it's like we have, with home visits and on-demand visits, like we have some people that like don't want to do gait training or walking in their hallway because they don't want their neighbors to see them look vulnerable. They want to stay in their apartment. So sometimes the apartments are big enough where that makes sense. And okay, that's fine. But it's always best to have like a better runway, right? So why wouldn't we use the hallway or even like the lobby? But then the lobby is you might be seen by other neighbors and the doorman who historically you had a higher quote unquote status over the doorman. Like it's just these unspoken things. Now all of a sudden you're in a wheelchair or you're in a walker and you're looking vulnerable. You're looking lesser than. If you can speak to how your treatment approach, your service will get them back to walking, if it's possible. Obviously, it depends on the client, it depends on their prognosis, their situation, their motivation. It depends on all that. But can you lay out a game plan, a treatment plan that's going to focus around the things that they really care about? So it's like, I didn't even do a great job at this with this particular client that we're anonymously talking about that spent $73,000 with us recently, like over almost in the last year and a half or whatever. But it was kind of like episodic, like, all right, you came out of hospital, like, let's get you moving, let's check your vitals, let's observe your vitals all the time. Then it was like, okay, that's better, that's stable. Your vitals are stable with walking. Now it's, let's work on your balance and endurance. And then once that got better, then it was like walking outside. And then once that got better, it was walking, my other therapist was with him and walking him in the park and around the reservoir. And then it was, he wanted to get back into the golf simulator. Right. So there was like all these incremental steps. Now we might have through osmosis, through just being there or whatever, like might have given him enough reassurance. And we probably didn't do a good enough job. But if we had laid out those things up front, like, hey, what are your goals? I need to ask you more questions. What would you want to get back to, assuming that you're medically cleared and stable and you're ready at those times? And he probably would have said, well, I want to get back to golf. I initially was with this guy treating him in 2024. And we were putting in his living room about 4 weeks out of open heart surgery. Putting, I mean, it's pretty low effort, but that was something that he cared about. Yes, we were doing a little bit of, static or dynamic balance. So there's definitely clinical things there that we were actually hitting on. So it was kind of like leading them like, okay, you want to get back to golfing. And then we need to go to the golf simulator to eventually in the coming weeks or months to work on, chipping at like 50% effort or whatever. And then it's like increasing the exertion. And then it's, when can we do some driving the ball off the tee at the golf simulator? Those types of things. It's like laying out like, okay, what is important to you? Why do you care about those things? And when might we be able to get there? And what do we need to do to get there? And obviously part of it to get him there or to get them there is the accountability of, we have these visits and we need to do these sessions and we need to do whatever. Initially it was 4 times a week and then it was 3. And, maybe these days it's kind of like 2 times a week or whatever, but that's how I would lay out the whole Chris Voss thing. It's like finding out what they really care about, laying out a plan and goals that align with their expectations.
Keep making sure they understand, just like the Domino's pizza tracker, where they are in this. Hey, we've had a setback. What does that mean? How far back? Like, make sure it's clear. I do have an update. I just got an email from our sponsors. This doesn't happen very often. So the sponsors from the Posture Corrector 3000, they are already on Amazon. Like, look at, bang, we're already selling units. Shout out to Ben Galen saying we are 2 for 2 on making through.
There's no way that sells a lot. Is there the little line which says like how many are sold? 1,000. Okay, but this is usually globally or nationally. 1,000 bought in the last month.
1,000 bought in the last month, man. It's 3.8. People are buying this. I know. Look, and all it is a little dot thing. My Posturematic at least looked legit. It was like this back harness thing. This one's just
90s legit.
What is it? How much is it? I don't want to ask Rufus. Get off the price. $69. Would you pay $69 to look that happy with this apparatus?
It's ridiculous.
We should start buying these things. We should start buying these things and reviewing them as PTs, and just be like, it's cost of goods is the $69. We'll get more off the YouTube revenue. That's what Tony does. He just buys this stuff. He's like, I'll make 15 videos.
No, these companies send these products to Tony. He doesn't buy them all the time. I think
we could get these guys to send us one.
Oh yeah, of course. I thought you said buy it though.
Oh, I just meant for faster. I'll fire these guys an email and see if they want us to do. I'll wear it during the show and have it, and I'll patch that audio boards whenever Jimmy's beep 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 beep.
I'm getting buzzed.
Now, my product suggestion for this: could you get Samuel L. Jackson to lend his voice to the prompts? Yo, mother, posture suck. Yo, mother, that would be
check your posture.
Check your posture. Gotta get this posture off this mother loving train. All right. That's Chris Voss and Rory Sutherland. Seth Godin would go a different direction, of course. How do you find the $70,000 patient while they're still $2,000 in? Seth Godin would say, build a movement tribe and identity groups. I feel like a lot of clinics do this one. But some people might think this is the flip. well, if this person's in a group class, they don't want to spend as much. I don't think that's true. Here's my proof. You might say, well, I'll just join a gym and a class because that's cheaper. But if the goal of you is to be being around people, that is of value. Here's my twist. And you've seen this in New York. You have to have seen this in New York. Do you see those idiots out there wearing spandex suits, riding bicycles? I can say they're idiots because I am one of you. I got the spandex.
Everyone in Central Park that are cyclists, yeah.
Those bikes they're not cheap, my friends. Some of them are.
Very expensive.
New ones. Guys, those aren't cheap. And some people do ride alone. Some people ride in groups. A lot of people will ride both, right? Tuesdays and Thursdays I ride by myself. Saturday, that's my day. I get out there. I ride across the George Washington Bridge. I find another bunch of other nut jobs who also have spandex, and we ride together. We pretend we're in the Tour de France. We're not. So Seth Godin would say build movement tribes around identity groups. This is sort of the opposite of what Dave provides. I still think you could still, if you had 3 or 4 like high value clients at Concierge Pain Relief in New York City, you could be like, I'm trying something new. We're going to do a group workout just for runners. You'd fit in this group. That's what you'd be saying to your patient. You'd fit. I got 3 other guys that are sort of like your level 2, similar speeds, similar times. I'm thinking about doing one group workout every week. What are your thoughts? That is an upsell, right? We started this episode saying 3, find more people. You can bring them back more often, or you can give them something different to buy. And that is an upsell. Selling things is not a bad thing. That would be something that Seth Godin would say, build a thing around an identity. That would be cool.
So for us, the folks that have spent the most overtime out of pocket, it's home visits.
Yes.
I think it's a lot more challenging, convenience.
Yep.
I think it's a lot more challenging for a brick and mortar. And I would be curious, anyone else watching or listening, any of the cash practices out there, it's maybe it's tens of thousands, or maybe it's 10, 20, 5, 10, 20 grand over 2 or 3 years or something, going to your brick and mortar office if they like keep buying packages and renewing it, and you have premium rates and all that type of stuff. Like, what was that comment just now that I know it wasn't not Michael Gorman, but iMove. Yeah. Craig Lee has a franchise through iMove, through Michael Gorman's iMove PT. So like, I would be curious, like with Craig or Michael, like I know for sure Michael has the brick and mortar. I think Craig is 100% mobile, but anyone that has a brick and mortar office, I'd be curious anonymously, like what is not that it's a contest, but like what's the highest out of pocket, the lifetime value of your highest paying client out of pocket who has come to a brick and mortar office. I'd be curious like what that number is. Again, it's not that big of a deal. We're going to treat everyone the same. We're just talking about some of the like business mechanics around delivering your service to probably your ideal customer, right?
I said this to a friend who had a clinic in a small town, and I said, do a run club. He said, it's a lot of effort. And I go, is it? Get somebody on your staff who likes to run and be like, part of your job, 2 hours a week, is to go stand in a parking lot at the head of a run trail, and no one's going to show up the first week, or one random person is going to show up the first week. And this is, you have to hit the tennis ball back over the net. People like us, this is what Seth Godin would say, people like us do things like this. We show up every single week. I did this with Leukemia Lymphoma Society team in training. I was a participant for years, then I became a coach. And people who wanted to be runners but weren't runners are like, we show up at what time on Saturdays? We're like 6 a.m. And they're like, I might come 50% of the time. A couple weeks in, they're there every week. Why? Status. Hey, man, where were you, bro? We missed you. You don't want that. So at 5:30, you open your eyes and you go, I don't want to take the social shaming, and I still want to be this thing. I either am or I'm not. The thing with runners or cyclists or anything is you are that. Like I could say I'm a triathlete, but Jimmy hasn't done a race in a couple of years because life. So that starts gnawing at me. Like, am I still a triathlete? I did one years ago. I don't know if I can say that. But if you like every Saturday we show up, we do a group workout, I'll be like, that seems lower stakes. I value that. Where is that? So that's how Seth Godin would approach turning the $10,000 patient into a $70,000 patient.
Gary, this is 100 real quick. This is about tribes. This is 100% possible. I just sent you on Facebook a DM on Facebook. I don't know if it'll load, but if you wanted to share it, this group training place here in Brooklyn called Badass Academy. They are shoulder to shoulder packed in. And guess where this originally started?
In someone's house.
Think of where it would. So it was outside. I won't string you along. It started for free outside in a park years ago. Because you said start a run club and like maybe no one shows up, right?
Yep.
So it's like they started building a tribe, a community of following. It was free outside in a park. Now there's basically no space to do anything. Like there are so many. And by the way, it was not this busy before COVID. They've been around for, I don't know, at least 10 years, maybe 15 years or something total since they were doing outdoor workouts in a park.
It got busy after COVID because you took away the camaraderie. And then when it came back, you were like, I need it. Gimme, go in person. Yes. Agreed.
It was never this busy before COVID. And
look at the guy in the background. Watch, hold on. Well, in the background, when I say now, watch him running up the stairs. Go. Is he like running up the stairs? Like he's like just doing stair laps. I love that. Like they're taking every square inch of this. Like you stand over there, run the treadmill. You do burpees. This guy is running stairs. I don't know if he's just leaving, if he's just late for work, or
oh no. There's sprinting up the steps as part of the workouts. Yes.
There he goes.
Yes. There's two people. There were 2 or 3 people on the stairs. Yes.
I love that. That's fantastic.
Yes.
Do you go to a bar because there's a lot of room to spread out, or do you go because there's vibe and it's busy? Would you like an empty bar that you could throw a hand grenade and not hit anybody in? That's not a bar you'd want to go to. You don't want to go to a bar that's full enough until it hits some sort of limit where you're like, this place sucks, it's packed. Right? Isn't that funny? It's like empty's no good, packed is no good. There's a sweet spot. Yogi Berra said, no one goes anywhere. No one goes there anymore. It's too full. It doesn't make any sense, which is why it's funny. Badass Academy. That gets a follow. Follow immediately.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I'm not their ideal avatar though. Here's the interesting thing. I love the owners. I used to work out there, but I have a home gym.
Yeah.
I would only go to the owner's private workout at 7 a.m. on Sunday mornings. And guess how many people were in the workout? Yeah. 5 to 8.
But wait. How much did that cost compared to a regular person membership with 38 people in a class?
This was actually
friends.
Free. It was like
wait. It was free. And that's cool. So they might have just been doing this because they probably just they liked you, but you don't think that was rapport building as well?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I've been sending people to the gym for years. I'll tag them on Facebook and, you know.
They didn't need to send you a Starbucks gift card. They were just like, Dave, why don't you come and work out for me? You're cool. Come in the circle. That's it. That's marketing. That is marketing. That's marketing. That's it. Like marketing in the radio station, I was in Northeast Pennsylvania for, 10 years or whatever. So I'd been around long enough to meet random people, and people had my number. And they'd be like, when someone would email me and be like, hey man, my kid's Boy Scout troop needs to do a thing. Can we bring them to the radio station? And I was like, absolutely. And they walked in and I would slap them across the face with as much cool as I could. Their name would be on the thing behind the front desk lady. Welcome Troop 27. And Steve, the troop leader. And he was like, oh, do you think Steve spoke lovingly about the radio station? It cost me like 17 seconds worth of time. And when they walked in, I had the whole routine. We did tours with kids all the time. I had the whole routine. Hey, we're going to go on the radio as a group. Then we're going to go in the production studio and we're going to make your voice sound funny. You want to make 11-year-olds think you're cool? Make them sound like they're on helium or a monster just with a couple of dials on a microphone. But understand that's marketing. None of that was on the air. We didn't record back then. We didn't really put it on social. We'd be doing that now. But that was marketing. Badass Academy. Is this one location or more than one?
I think they had one in Queens. So this is Brooklyn, but I think they had one in Queens, and it was maybe like a testing ground for a year or two, and then I guess they closed. I don't know if it was like a pop up temporarily or something, but
I like everything
so
about
one main location. It's there's also a second floor with like I think it's kind of like personal training area, and then also like I don't know if you go out. I mean, it's not a big deal, but they have like the cycling classes upstairs. And those are equally as intense. If you see like hardwood floor, no, not that. That's downstairs.
Like
if you keep scrolling,
I love everything about even just looking at their page. Like
right there on the right side on the right side, right there. That's upstairs, and these classes are intense too. And every instructor, they blast the music. The music is 11. Level 11 out of 10. And there's like kind of like the group class personal training area. And
all they're doing.
The instructors are yelling over the music. That's 11 out of 10.
All the instructors are 13. If you want to be this person, like Badass Academy gets it. Just show me the people in progress. But those are the people doing, people don't want to go to the gym. They want to have gone to the gym, right? But we understand we got to go to the gym to earn the have gone to the gym. I mean, my friend Megan Brown has a Pilates clinic in Alexandria, Virginia. So, like, not the easiest zip code to have a business, like anything, and stay afloat. Brilliant, though. She also has a personality sort of like mine and yours, which is like, I'm just going to be friends with everybody. She'd be like, Pilates at 10 and then biscuits and mimosas at 11 right across the street. And what do you think the biscuits and mimosa place across the street would say about her? Like, you understand who's who in the zoo, man. Like, Badass Academy gets it. Like, even without clicking on any of their content and playing the video or opening it, it just all looks rubber floors, exposed brick, people during the ergo ski workout and the bikes and got it. People like us. This is, yes, Seth Godin would got it. People like us do things like this, and they figured that out. Chris Doe is the last person. Oh, no, Gary V. What do you think Gary V would do? What do you think Gary V would say if you want to turn a $10,000 client into a $70,000 client? What does Gary V think?
Yeah, video? I don't know.
Make them a star. You want a client? Make the client the star. Like, that's what I try to explain to like APTA academies and chapters and sections and now businesses. I was talking to a business owner last night. I won't say who it was. And he was like, we're sort of stuck because we have 2 people on staff doing our social media, and they're great and they have energy. He said the problem is they see a trend and they're like, ooh, we can copy this trend. So they do. So that gets some views, but no patience. Because it's cute, but it doesn't lead me anywhere. So if you track it, which is what a good business owner would do, where does this lead me? Does this help me? It's views are a beauty pageant metric. What does it lead me to? Understand, here's the understanding. If you're a business, an academy, a section, you're the stage. Put your ideal customer on it, and other people who want to be like them will see it and go, oh, you're the transformation machine. That's what a clinic is. You're the booth that Clark Kent steps into, and out comes Superman. You're the stage. When I say don't be Luke Skywalker, be Yoda, I'll put this in my slide deck. Be the phone booth. That might be more. The PT is the Yoda. The clinic is the phone booth that Clark Kent steps into, Superman steps out of. So Gary Vee would say, shoot the heck out of everything that great patient is doing. Pump their ego up, with permission, of course. Pump them up. And then other people see that as, I'm using a lot of comic book reference. They'll see that as a bat signal. Oh, this place turns people like me into people like I want to be. Why is my camera out of focus? Right. So Gary Vee would say, turn the clinic into a content engine. How much money do you think it would cost to get Gary Vee to show up to Tony's clinic? A lot of money. It'd be great. What about Gary Vee's cousin Steve?
Probably $50K. He'd probably charge like $25.
What would Gary Vee's cousin Steve cost? How is that a little? On the late Chris Doe. Are you familiar with Chris Doe? I talk about him sometimes.
Yeah, the YouTuber.
Yeah, this is called The Future on YouTube. He's a graphic designer, but is all about value. He would say, sell outcome programs, not visits. Sell the transformation. One of his most viral videos is someone like arguing with him a little bit about, well, how much would it cost for you to design a logo for me? And Chris was like, what's the logo supposed to do? He's like, well, it doesn't matter. And he's like, it does matter. The price matters. If I design a logo for a coffee shop down the street from me, the logo is going to cost X. If I design a movie poster for Paramount Pictures for the next Tom Cruise Mission Impossible movie, it's going to cost a lot more than X. Even if the time is different, even if it takes me, if I can, so Chris is pushed, the guy's like, well, you're going to do this logo in 15 minutes and you're going to charge me $10,000. And he goes, so you value time. Like he literally just comes back with him as a chess move. So you value time? And he's like, yeah. And he goes, then I'll take 3 weeks to do the logo. I'll design it in 15.
Right.
Over 2 and 3 weeks. Are you pissed that I'm doing this? And this is such an alignment with PT, graphic design and PT. If I can get you better in 3 hours, I make less money if you're an insurance-based clinic. This sucks, right? And insurance people know this for years, and it sucks. They're right. If I get you better in 3 hours, and the guy down the street takes 12 hours, they get paid more. What the?
Well, and by the way, there are some practices now selling in not even packages, but some will call it either like a program or a protocol. But basically the transformation, right? So if I say, Jimmy, you've had this knee injury for so long it doesn't allow you to play with your friends with ice hockey, doesn't allow you to play ice hockey, and it's $4,500, and within that it's whatever, it's up to, I don't know, 15 or 24 visits or whatever. But if you get better in like 10 visits,
Thank them.
then you could bank those visits. Yeah, you could give them away, or yeah, you could just not use them. And because the main focus of it, the main point of everything was you got back to playing men's league ice hockey, not about me trading time for dollars and for all these and tracking every single visit.
I was thinking about this the other day, and it sounds subtle and we split hairs, but Rory Sutherland would agree with at least me thinking about this. The difference between a program and a package. A package is exciting when it's wrapped. I mean, you've been 9 and you're like, oh my God, under the tree. What is this? This could be, I asked for 48 things. I hope it's the thing I wanted the most. As soon as you unwrap it, and it is or it isn't, the value drops. As soon as you drive the car off the lot, the value drops. That's a package. A program's a journey. A trip to Nepal is something you carry with you forever, but a new Bose set of headset is a thing. I know it seems subtle. I'd rather sell the trip to Nepal, the experience. So sell the program. That's selling more of what Chris Do is saying, the outcome, and not the 12 visits, 12 hours worth of my time. I'm like, I still need to ask a question. What the hell does that get me? Does that get me back on the ice? Halfway there? That's ambiguity, and confused people don't. They don't buy. They don't show back up. They don't continue. Confused people don't. So those are all the strategies from Chris Voss, Rory Sutherland, Seth Godin, Gary Vee, Chris Do. Different strategies, same goal, in my opinion. Turn the transactional patient into a long-term relationship. You're big, though. This is the last question I'll ask, and this would be good for when Tony does return, is it's probably good to start asking certain questions that will lead to figuring out who this person is. You're big on the very first phone call. You're like, I want to say no to you, or I want you to say no to me. If this isn't right, I don't want to even start the engine.
We're recording these calls. We're doing game tape reviews of these calls. We're hitting a ton of questions, not even objection handling, objection handling at the end of the call, but it's objection prevention questions during the call.
What do you mean?
Let me pull it up. I won't screen share it, but
the fact that you have a list,
I would love to ask, and you can answer anonymously if you want. A lot of people, I bet you their script is hello.
That's not.
Let me just. I know we're at the end. Real quick, I'll just rip through a couple of these. What happens if you wait another 3 months? If nothing changes, where do you see this in 6 months? What would you need to be different this time? So this is like if you got burned by a previous healthcare provider, a previous treatment didn't work.
Yep.
We would ask, what would you need to be different this time for you to feel confident? If you went to a previous healthcare provider, back pain, and your back pain keeps coming back, Jimmy, if you're being honest, did that in-network physical therapy actually solve the problem long term? And it's like, no, because you're calling us about your back pain. If you could solve that, Jimmy, if you could solve this properly and not have this return, how important is that compared to just using your insurance?
This is a whole episode. Like, I almost want you to just stop.
Yeah. I'll stop. I have a big list now. These are, and there's spousal questions. Hey, Jimmy, are you the only one making this decision, or would it be someone else? Because later, if we say, hey, it's a transformation package that's $4,000 or $5,000, then you're like, well, I got to go speak to my spouse about it. We already hit it.
That's smart. You're diffusing the landline before you even walk towards the landline. This would be a whole episode. Okay, so what would be the prompt for the episode? Like the 10, like, gotta keep it limited, right? How many questions are on that list? Ballpark? 10?
No, there's more than 10. Our calls, when we speak, it's a question.
Like it's a decision tree. It's like, if they answer this, go that way.
It's a decision tree, and it's not us describing, we're going to do this. We're going to do this technique. You might need this. You might need.
It's about you. You want it to be about me, the person calling. Right. So we'll figure out the prompt, but it'll be like, if these 10 questions, I'll bring 10, you bring 10, Tony brings 10, and then we'll shake them out and we'll talk about why we do it and what it leads. Because just having a question on there is nice, but what does it lead to? Great. When they answer this, it's like, just prescribing an exercise is nice. Great. What is the purpose of that? What is the purpose of asking that question in that way at that time? The order of the questions, very important. Would you like to go out for dinner, or would you like to marry me? If you reverse the order, you have a red flag, not a date. The order of the questions, my friends, is very important. All right, we'll do that next time. Before we get to parting shot, this might be the best sponsor we have. The visual, I think you're going to agree. Let's hear it for TheraBand Cannon, resistance training from across the room. Today's show is sponsored by the TheraBand Cannon, the fastest way to distribute resistance bands in modern rehab. Just load the chamber, pull the lever, and launch therapeutic resistance directly at your patients. Great.
Yes. So, you know how there's people that get hurt, and it's not funny.
I know.
People have serious eye injuries when TheraBands rip and break.
That's why we also hit themselves. Willingly's comes with goggles.
Okay, good. I was going to say, because now with the TheraBand Cannon, now actually we're going to know when it's going to hit us in the face, as opposed to being surprised. This should not be a surprise. It's coming out of the cannon.
This is great for group classes, crowded clinics, or when the band rack is just too far away. Just get the cannon. With adjustable tension settings from beginner beige to, oh no, blue, the TheraBand Cannon, because walking across the clinic is wasted revenue. Think about it like that. If you could just shoot the TheraBand at them, that's way bad.
Best use case would be you catch your clients on their phone instead of doing their program.
It's a red band.
And that gets their attention, get them back doing their drills and their exercises, whatever they need to do.
All right. What's your parting shot? Give me a mic drop.
Parting shot is taking a step back and looking at who are your ideal clients, patients. Could you be offering more? It's not even like, for us, of course, financially, it's like more of the wallet share. I mean, there's like different ways to consider it, but who is your ideal client? What are their, like you said, avatar labels? How do they identify? What do they identify as? If you speak to those and get them back to those goals, or show them that you understand them, first of all, and that you have the capability to help them kind of figuratively grab their hand and like take them along this road, or take them over the bridge to the transformation, that the outcome that they want. Maybe you'll find that it'll be a lot easier for folks to say yes to more of your packages, programs, ongoing wellness, out of pocket, all that.
Because it's clearer. My parting shot would be, understand that your clinic is the phone booth that Clark Kent walks into and Superman walks out of. Be the phone booth. Don't try to be Superman. If you're Superman, I don't know where I fit in this story. Am I Lois Lane? Am I Jimmy Olsen with the camera? That'd be cool. I'd be Jimmy Olsen. But you're the phone book. Be the place where the transformation happens. Be the Yoda that helps the hero do that. It sounds dumb and all woozy. It's not.
Hey, it's Dave Kittle. Are you a healthcare business owner or physical therapy practice owner who is looking to figure out your succession plan or exit strategy? We might be able to help. And in fact, we may be interested in acquiring your practice. If you're interested, you can reach out to me. Shoot me an email at dave@conciergepainrelief.com. That's DAVE at CONCIERGE painrelief.com. Or you can call me at any time, 646-781-8884.